Mm.
Okay. What are the key trends affecting marketing communications at the moment?
I think digital media. I think a lot of companies are feeling slightly behind the curve in terms of how they approach, digital communications. So things like social media, use of videos, content, developing content or content management systems, like that sort of thing. I think that some people think it's a kind of specialist form of marketing and almost forget that the principles of marketing are still important, whatever the media, whether it be digital media or print media or the type of communication, whether it's advertising or PR or whatever. So I think that's a key trend at the moment. I think accountability is another key trend. So particularly, I suppose, with the recession, knowing exactly how your campaigns have performed and taking that right through to kind of, return on investment is another key trend at the moment. So I think that's partly due to the recession, but also partly due to better capabilities now. So I guess one of the things that digital media allows us to do is, measure, in a better way.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so the next question we're going to ask you is, what makes the ideal client?
Okay. Without talking personally about, I've worked on 2 clients very closely over the last 10 or so years, and I think a bad client is someone who has no desire to kind of build any kind of relationship or sense of partnership or collaboration. All they care about, I guess, is money, and the way they approach you is a supplier rather than a partner. They will deliberately not foster any kind of partnership or relationship, because that will then affect the way they negotiate with you. Another bad thing about a client like that is where they don't write you a brief because they almost don't want to write a brief, because they can then change their mind as many times as they like for free.
Yeah.
So that's the worst type of client, I think. The best type of client is where they do give you a brief, they think about what they want, they are prepared to work in partnership, they're prepared to get to know you, prepared to collaborate, prepared to invest time and energy into making the partnership work. Yeah. But I guess, it's just being clear about what you want.
Yeah, perfect. Next question is, what do you see as the major changes in the communication industry in the next 5 years?
I think, having gone through, I think we're coming out of the recession now, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I think have you looked on things like the IPA website, where I think marketing expenditure is rising for the first time in, I think, 7 years. So I think that the recession will have probably changed us all kind of forever. So I think those things I was mentioning earlier, like accountability, will still be important. But I would hope that there'll now be more perhaps investment in training, upskilling. I mentioned earlier, I thought, a lot of marketeers were perhaps a bit frightened of digital media, whereas now maybe they can invest more in training and trialling, different kind of digital media campaigns to kind of learn as they go, learn as they engage with customers or target audiences. Over the next 5 years. I wonder as well, actually, if there's something around the kind of, just thinking about you going through, you've paid for your course. I think you as a set of people in the workplace now, you know, are changing. I think you'll be more demanding. You've paid for your education, you know, but when I was thinking about university, it was free. I didn't really think that hard, you know, so I think the workplace will be more demanding. Yeah, demanding of, you know, kind of training, learning, you know, growing, you know, through the companies that you know you will work for. Yeah.
That's good.
How could a graduate stand out when applying to you for a job?
Get the basics right first, so make sure your CV is kind of well written, so get the foundations right first, so I'm going through this actually as we speak, but kind of, you know, write out what you want to communicate about yourself, then, you know, kind of synthesize it, distill it so that it's not kind of, you know, War and Peace or Yellow Pages, so it's not too long. Make sure it's written well, so I'm sure, you know, with within your year or group or whatever, there are, you know, people that are great at writing, people who are not so good at writing, so it's about helping one another and making sure, you know, it reads well, making sure it looks good, making sure you focus on your achievements, you know, what kind of, not what you've done, but what you've actually achieved. And then, somebody I recruited very recently, actually, I was really impressed with, you know, if it gets to sort of interview stage, she was able to apply working in a restaurant to some of the questions I was going to ask her about being, you know, an account planner, you know, in our team. And I thought that was quite impressive, you know. I think standing out, you know, kind of having different interests, you know, and then maybe blending those interests together. So, for instance, I don't know, if you're interested in children or whatever, and in, you know, learning about how children, you know, kind of learn, grow, or whatever, how could that then be applied to, you know, the kind of jobs that you're going for? So I think, yeah, wide, diverse interests. If you're thinking about marketing communication, I suppose having an eye for, you know, the more creative aspects, you know, so, you know, going to things like art exhibitions and that kind of stuff, you know, where you're going to appreciate kind of how creativity can help develop, you know, brands, brand ideas, that kind of thing. That would, yeah, help you stand out.
What has contributed to your own success? How did you start in the industry?
When I wanted to go into planning, I had a very supportive boss who was really interested in kind of growing people and letting them try new things. So yeah, that was yeah, I guess that was really important. So I think it's kind of I suppose getting to know the people that are keen to grow you versus the people that maybe are less keen, you know, and kind of knowing where to kind of ask for help or, you know, ask for opportunities, really. Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, so should we email you when it's on YouTube?